I built a company completely run off of commission-only sales teams, and today I'm going to share with you the 7 things that I did to grow my sales team, retain them for a long time, and increase conversions month after month. Now guys, when I first started my company and built a sales team, I got it up to about 60 reps. And it quickly failed after. The reason why is because I didn't know these 7 things. I wasn't doing them. And so I just had people quitting left and right, not performing properly, and I just couldn't retain a single person. And when I actually implemented these 7 things, my sales team grew, my conversion rates were higher than ever, and I retained people for a very, very long time. And that's why I'm looking forward to sharing these 7 things with you. Okay, so the first thing is interviews. I used to pretty much hire anybody that could breathe and talk. And that was completely wrong because I thought I could take someone and transform them into an amazing salesperson or amazing appointment setter or whatever the case might be. I quickly realized that you need to hire talent. You need to hire people that actually have talent that you can help them just get better. But you can't hire someone who doesn't have any talent at all and you're trying to force them to be something that they're not. Okay, can you help someone become a lot better? Of course. Right, but when you're starting your team, when you're trying to grow your team, you can't just rely on people that you have to consistently train and make better. You also have to get some top talent in there as well so that they can boost your results. And that's what I failed to do. And so instead, I put together an interview process where someone would come and interview first, get to know them, and then they would do a role play, and then they would get placed in the position that fit best for them, whether that is selling something lower tier, whether that is being an appointment setter, whether that's selling something that's higher ticket, whatever the case might be. We would put them in the role that actually makes sense for them and their current abilities, and then we'd help them grow from there. All right guys, number 2, which is incentives. I used to not incentivize my people at all. I thought, hey, if they did well in their job and they made money, they would actually make a lot of money and then they'd be happy. It didn't work that way. What I came to realize is that salespeople have 2 main incentives. They have number 1, which is recognition, and number 2, which is monetary. So what I started to do when I understood this is I would put together competitions that would give them bonuses and incentives that way from a monetary standpoint, and recognition if they won the competition. And once I started to do that, I saw a lot more productivity from my team, a lot more buy-in, and they started to put in the work that they needed to actually get the proper results. All right, number 3, which is accountability. I used to just let people do whatever they want. I said if they performed, they stayed. If they didn't perform, they went. And that didn't work, right? Even top talent, you ended up turning over a lot of top talent because of their lack of accountability. When I understood this, I started making goals for my team. Right? These are the goals that we want to hit. Daily huddles. Let's meet and see what's going on. Let's set some daily goals. We looked at one-on-one meetings. All right, every single week, what's going on with you, understand what your personal goals are, and then giving you a specific path to helping you even hit your own personal goals. And you can do that with your team. If your person, right, has a personal goal they want to hit, and whether they want to get somewhere professionally or whether it's something within their own personal life they're trying to do, you can put together a plan for what they're doing with you to help them get closer to hitting that personal goal, right? So they would get accountability from me, which is the external accountability, but their internal accountability increased, and that's what you're looking for within your team. All right, getting into number 4, which is KPIs, right? Same goes right along with accountability. Key performance indicators, where you have to give your sales team numbers to hit, goals to reach for, whether that's daily, weekly, and monthly, right? So we'd always have our daily goal, we'd have our weekly goal and projections of what we're going to hit sales-wise, and then our monthly goal as well. And then we would meet about those and see where they're at, and we'd hold them accountable. So whether it's conversion rates, whether it's revenue collected, cash collected, whatever your markers are that you know you have to hit in order for your offer to be successful, you need to apply those markers to them and hold them accountable to hitting those numbers and then giving them ways to actually hit those numbers. All right, number 5, which is track everything. I used to do surface level tracking until I learned that if you actually track every step of your process, you will know the data will actually tell you better than anything else. How are your leads doing? What's happening in your sales process? How's a certain salesperson performing? Where are the hangups? What's going well? What's not going well? And you can figure all of that out through your numbers if you're tracking everything. Now, at minimum, I recommend tracking the following. Number 1 is number of leads received, the show rate, number of sales, revenue or cash collected, conversion rate, and revenue per lead. That's at minimum, right? That's at minimum is what I recommend for you. But what I do is I track every step of my sales process so that I know exactly how all of my salespeople are performing and how my sales process in general is performing and where there are potential areas I need to adjust. All right, now number 6, lead management. Okay, so having a proper CRM is important. I used to allow people to just do whatever they wanted, work off of spreadsheets and all of that. And I still have spreadsheets today for other tracking purposes, but my salespeople use a CRM. That's where their leads go. That's where they manage them. That's where they put their notes in. then that's where they make their phone calls. Everything happens inside of that CRM. Okay, so the lead comes in, they can dial right from that CRM. It automatically gets recorded, right? Everything that I need to happen from a compliance standpoint, and also to be able to actually track what's happening with all the leads, can all happen within that CRM. I didn't used to do this, and again, it cost me a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of salespeople. All right, and number 7, which is always listen to your sales team's feedback. Sometimes we get in the habit of thinking that our sales team is just complaining for no reason. They just want to make excuses why they're not performing or whatever the case might be. But when you're consistently hearing the same things from somebody or from multiple sales reps, you should really take that into consideration. Right? Is what they're saying actually true, and can I find the data that supports what they're telling me? And if you can, great, then you move on. If you can't, then you want to look at what's the actual source of why they're not performing or why they're saying what they're saying, right? And then you figure it out that way. So never ignore feedback, good or bad, especially bad feedback or negative feedback. Always make sure that you're actually taking it into consideration. Sometimes our ego can get in the way. We don't want someone telling us, no, this thing is not actually working or whatever the case might be. Don't be so stuck on your ways that you're not willing to be flexible, but always make sure that whenever you take in feedback, make sure that it can actually be proven through the data points that you have. And another point of this, which is your sales team's morale is very important. And if you're constantly getting feedback, not making adjustments, not making them feel heard, that morale can start to diminish, right? So when one person, the salesperson, is not doing well or feeling well, they're going to pass that on to somebody else, and they're going to pass that on to somebody else. And all of a sudden you're dealing with a whole bunch of negativity on your team. And now you have to figure out a way to get everything back on track. And you don't want to have to do that. So always listen to your salespeople. And so guys, I run a sales agency, which means that I have sales teams for all of my different clients. So trust me, if I can do this, you can do it for your offer as well. And this is what's allowed us to go consistently from offer to offer and scale it with our sales teams and hit constant conversion rates. So guys, subscribe for more if you're interested in this type of content. Thank you for watching. I hope I brought you some value today, and I'll see you all on the next video.